It's time. Time to get credit for the work you've done. Time to get the recognition you deserve. With Purdue Global, you can move forward in your career, for your family, and for yourself. You're worth the investment in yourself to earn a degree you're proud of, a degree that employers will respect. Purdue's online university is designed to support working adults like you who know it's never too late to accomplish your goals. It's never too late to make a comeback. It's time to start yours today at purdueglobal.edu.
Hey, this is Reed Isbell.
And Dan Isbell.
Otherwise known as the Brothers Hunt.
We're hosting a new podcast, God's Country, by Meat Eater and iHeart Podcast.
God's Country is a weekly drive to the intersection of music and the outdoors. Two things that go together like Sunday and some pond fishing.
Or cows and green pastures.
This record will be the one that it will always define who I am.
So hop on in and ride shotgun with us as we take the back roads with some of the most influential people in country music today.
Listen to God's Country on the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, this is Justin Richmond, host of the Broken Record Podcast. Join me along with co-host Leah Rose as we sit down with the artists you love to get unparalleled creative insight. You'll hear revealing interviews with some of the most legendary figures in music like Paul Simon, Usher, Pete Townsend, Damon Albarn of the Gorillaz, and Missy Elliott. And you'll hear from up-and-comers like jazz artist Leve, who told me about her fast rise to fame during the pandemic. Listen to Broken Record on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
First Date Follow-Up. Powered by the Advocates Injury Attorneys. Online at advocateslaw.com.
If you want to win the Jubal Show's trip to the Caribbean, you got to listen at 8:10. Mason is on the phone today for a first date follow-up, and he's getting ghosted by Nicole. Hey, Mason, before we talk to you about your date, how long has it been since you heard from Nicole?
It's been about 5 days since the date.
Okay, that's not too bad. Did you try to hit her up after the date and she just didn't respond?
Yeah, totally. I'm not being annoying about it. Other than what I'm doing right now, I guess. I reached out. I was like, hey, that was great on the night. And she was like, yeah, The next day I texted to be like, maybe we should, make plans to do it again. And I didn't get any response. And then yesterday I let a few days go by. And then, I'm sorry if this is too much information. And then yesterday I texted again and I got no response a second time. And so I'm just kind of like bummed out and confused.
Tell us about your date.
We were going to plan to meet for coffee, but we sort of upgraded it to pizza because there's this great pizza place nearby, and it had a gorgeous view of the sunset.
Oh, nothing wrong with a pizza upgrade.
Never.
And it was very chill. It was very casual. It felt really great, actually, because dating is kind of a nightmare. So it was really nice to just have a nice time with someone, or so I thought. That's kind of what I'm calling about.
Was there anything that happened on the date that felt weird that could be part of the reason why she's not calling you back?
I can't think of anything. I feel like maybe she had an allergic reaction to the pizza or something and got food poisoning.
I was just going to ask you what kind of pizza you had, and do you think it could have been like lactose intolerance or something?
Maybe, but we talked about food allergies specifically while we were eating because everyone is so crazy about food allergies these days. And she said, thankfully she didn't have any.
Even if she did, though, I'm not really sure how that would have kept her from not texting you back. She'd just be like, oh, man, you're never going to believe what happened to me.
Only if something embarrassing happened, maybe. But yeah, when I said it, I'm like, that wouldn't be a thing.
Did she get up to go to the bathroom for a while?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay, so is there anything at all that happened in your conversation that...
I'm sorry, but again, I don't think so. I really feel like we had a genuine connection and it was a really cool, chill time.
How'd you leave the date?
We didn't kiss on the mouth, which is, always like, are we going to do that or not? But it didn't feel right.
Did you kiss on something else?
It was just like a hug, but it was a nice hug. It didn't feel like a rejection at the end of the date, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I just feel like I did something wrong, and I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out. She really is great. She's confident and knows what she wants out of life and is just a great energy to be around. you know, like an uplifting energy. It's nice because I feel like a lot of people I meet are sort of dragged down energy, like kind of like sad sack energy.
Fat back energy. I've never heard that before, but I love it.
All right, well, we'll see if we can get some more of Nicole energy in your life then and try to get you another date. We'll play a song, come back, call her, and see if we can find out why she's ghosting you, and then see if you still want to go out with her after you hear the reason, okay?
Okay.
All right, we'll play a song, come back, get your first date follow-up next.
Hey, this is Reed Isbell,
And Dan Isbell.
otherwise known as the Brothers Hunt.
We're hosting a new podcast, God's Country, by Meat Eater and iHeart Podcast.
God's Country is a weekly drive to the intersection of music and the outdoors. Two things that go together like Sunday and some pond fishing.
Or cows and green pastures.
We're talking to the writers behind your favorite songs about the deer they've loved and they've lost.
So I shot an 11-point with a 23-inch inside spread, like it was giant. And somebody stole it.
And the stories behind their biggest hits.
Well, they hooked that, man. They really hooked that.
Right.
That's writing 101.
And hearing from today's biggest stars like our friend Michael Hard Rock Hardy.
This record will be the one that it will always define who I am, or like just as an artist.
So hop on in and ride shotgun with us as we take the back roads with some of the most influential people in country music today.
Listen to God's Country on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast.
It's Kate
and Oliver
Hudson.
Host of the new podcast.
Well, it's not new, but we are at iHeart.
We're at iHeartRadio.
No.
But it's called Sibling Revelry. That's right.
We started this show because we just wanted to hang out together. We decided a couple of years back, you know what? No one talks about siblings and that dynamic.
The siblings, they know each other better than anybody.
Yes.
You know, a lot of the time.
And we get inspired by other siblings. I think other siblings make us want to be better siblings.
100%. You know how many times shows that we have done
and
where I'm like, I wish we were like that.
I'm like not a great
I know. I'm
sister.
like, I'm terrible.
Anyway, I hope you love our show. We love doing it. Listen to Sibling Revelry on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
In the new Amy and TJ podcast, Amy Robach and TJ Holmes, a renowned broadcasting team with decades of experience delivering headline news and captivating viewers nationwide, are sharing their voices and perspectives in a way you've never heard before. They explore meaningful conversations about current events, pop culture, and everything in between. Nothing is off limits.
This was a scandal that wasn't.
Yeah.
And this was not what you've been sold.
The Amy and TJ podcast is guaranteed to be informative, entertaining, and above all, authentic. It marks the first time Robach and Holmes speak publicly since their own names became a part of the headlines.
This is the first time that we actually get to say what happened and where we are today.
Listen to the Amy and TJ podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
First Date Follow-Up. Powered by the Advocates Injury Attorneys. Online at advocateslaw.com.
Right in the middle of your first date follow-up, if you're just joining us, Mason is on the phone. He's getting ghosted by Nicole, and we're about to call her and see if we can figure it out for him and maybe get him another date if he still wants one. Mason, before we call her, refresh everybody's memory real quick on your date with Nicole.
Sure. We met on an app, and we went and got pizza together, and it was really nice and chill, and we watched the sunset, and I thought we had a great time and went our separate ways, and now I can't get a response out of her.
What was the last thing she said to you?
It was like, I had so much fun or something, like on the night of the date.
Okay.
That was the last contact I heard from her.
That's weird.
All right, I'm going to call her right now. Here we go.
Hello.
Hi, may I speak to Nicole, please?
This is she.
Nicole. Hi, how are you? My name is Jubal. I host a radio show called The Jubal Show.
Hi, Nicole. I'm Nina. I'm here too.
And I'm Victoria.
Why am I like suddenly nervous?
Oh, don't be nervous. It's just our formal introduction.
Yeah. We do a segment on our show called the First Date Follow-Up. That's where if you go out on a date with someone and then you end up ghosting them, that person can email us to get you on the phone and find out why you're ghosting them. So you are currently ghosting somebody that you went on a date with, and they want to know what they did.
Okay.
I'll tell you his name is Mason.
I know Mason.
So
that's a rave review.
So what's up, Nicole? How come you haven't hit Mason back?
Listen, Mason is a great guy. You know, we met on a dating app, and, you know, I've been going on dates. Like, I had a date the night before my date with Mason, and, like, you know, we had a fun time, you know, with the date that I had the night before Mason. And even though I had a great time with Mason, a couple of things, like, one, he might be too nice of a guy for me. And then also, when we were on the date, you know, he was mentioning that, like, he really doesn't date around, and he doesn't, you know, just go out on dates a lot. So I don't know, I kind of felt bad, like, because I am doing that. Like, I don't want to waste his time.
Well, that's interesting and fair. I mean, I guess this whole dating pool is kind of hard to navigate, but it's also hard to know if anything's going to go anywhere with somebody after just one date.
True. I don't know. Because he's such a nice guy, I felt bad. I'm like, you know, he paid for everything, and, like, I know dating is expensive, and, like, I didn't want, because I am out there dating different people, and he kind of just focuses on one person at a time, per what he told me. Like, I didn't want to, I don't know, lead him on or waste his time when I just didn't know.
I mean, did y'all talk about it? Like, did you tell him that you were dating around and he told you that he wasn't?
Yeah, I mean, it was like we were just talking about the dating app and, like, how, you know, how dating is so hard. And I was like, yeah, you know, I've been dating. And he's like, you know, I really kind of just focus on one person at a time. I mean, it wasn't like who are you dating and how many people are you dating? Like, I don't know if he realized that, like, I had been on a date the night before, which it didn't really matter. It just, the fact that he was putting all of his eggs in one basket, it seemed like, and I'm not, like, I don't know, I just felt bad.
So you'd like him more if he was dating some other people too?
Yeah, or, I mean...
You don't hear that very often.
Yeah.
I'd rather you not. I'd rather you not be.
Well, thank you for being honest with us, Nicole. I appreciate that.
Are you you're going to tell him I said this?
I don't need to, actually, because he's listening and on the phone and wants to talk to you.
Oh. Hi, Nicole. Hi. I am sorry to be lurking, but this has been a wonderful, I really appreciate getting all of this information from you. I really do.
You're so nice.
Yeah, he is super nice.
Really nice.
I'm sorry. I'm just still, like, processing the fact that you just heard everything that I said.
I'm sorry because, you know, I thought that I'd done something wrong and I kind of wanted to figure it out, so I didn't do it again, you know, but I really appreciate everything you said because it helps me sort of move on with what I want to do with my life as well. And, you know, I know people tell me I'm a nice guy, but I was thinking of getting a motorcycle. That was a joke. I'm sorry. Maybe if we go out again, I could, like, not listen to your stories while you tell them. I'm just kidding.
Mason, so what you're saying, Mason, is if Nicole went out with you again, you could be a little bit more of a... Or
yeah, I could act like a real jerk.
No, I'm not saying that I want to be with someone that's a jerk. I just, because he was nice and so gentlemanly, and I don't know, I just...
If you go out with me again, this time it'll be different. I won't open any doors for you.
He's trying to show you that he's a bad boy.
How about
yeah. I'm sorry, what? You see, I'm already not listening to you.
Maybe kiss me next time. I don't know. Like, I felt like we were going to kiss, and then you went in for a hug, and it was like a weird, I don't know.
Plot twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I just don't want to move too fast on a date because I don't want to freak anybody out, but I definitely wanted to kiss you.
Well, what do you think, Nicole? It sounds like Mason's willing to be a little bad. Would you like to go out with him again on another date? We'll pay for it.
He'll kiss you.
I would totally go out with him again. We had so much fun. I just want to make sure he's okay with the fact that, like, I am going out with other people too.
It's absolutely okay with me.
I want you to kind of mind, but not really. I want it to bother you that I'm going out with other people, but I want you to be okay with it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't love it, so it's not like I think it's really good. It makes me feel good, but it is something that it happens, and I'm totally okay with it. But at the same time, I'm also not okay with it.
Ooh, there you go.
That's what she's looking for.
It's got exactly what you're looking for, Nicole.
Right, I know. See, he's not all nice guy.
Okay, Nicole. So what do you think? Do you want to maybe go for this? I mean, they're going to pay for a date for us, so it's kind of like just to get use of the radio station's money, right?
Oh, and he's using us.
Ooh, you're so bad.
He is a bad boy.
Perfect. No, I mean, I would love to go out with you again. I had a great time, and I think it would be fun.
Awesome. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I'm really happy to hear you say that.
With a sprinkle of jealousy, but not too much.
Yeah.
But it can't be on Friday because I planned.
Jubal's first date follow-up. Powered by the Advocates Injury Attorney. Online at advocateslaw.com.
Hey, this is Reed Isbell.
And Dan Isbell.
Otherwise known as the Brothers Hunt.
We're hosting a new podcast, God's Country, by Meat Eater and iHeart Podcast.
God's Country is a weekly drive to the intersection of music and the outdoors. Two things that go together like Sunday and some pond fishing.
Or cows and green pastures.
This record will be the one that it will always define who I am.
So hop on in and ride shotgun with us as we take the back roads with some of the most influential people in country music today.
Listen to God's Country on the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Scott Barry Kaufman, host of the Psychology Podcast. I'm a cognitive scientist, and I've written 10 books and hundreds of articles on topics such as intelligence, introversion, and education. The Psychology Podcast is a place where we investigate the different ways in which we can unlock human potential, and where I get to interview some of the most extraordinary and fascinating people, and we have real conversations about what it means to achieve success and what it means to be human. Listen to the Psychology Podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey there, I'm Maya Shankar, and I'm a scientist who studies human behavior. Many of us have experienced a moment in our lives that changes everything, a moment that instantly divides our life into a before and an after. On my podcast, A Slight Change of Plans, I talk to people about how they've navigated exactly these moments. Because as we all know, the only constant is change. So let's make the most of it. Listen to A Slight Change of Plans on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.